Hey folks, it's Pops here, ILWPOD, and it's time for another This Day in Wrestling History. We're going to do December 7th, 1997, In Your House, D-Generation X. This pay-per-view took place from Springfield, Massachusetts. 6,358 people in attendance. The show starts out with a great video package hyping up DX and some of their antics. Shawn Michaels is in a feud with Ken Shamrock for the WWF World title, and it's hyping that matchup. And then we get the classic Sergeant Slaughter versus Triple H in a boot camp match. It's a great match. We'll talk about it. We got JR and Jerry the King Lawler on the announce table, and I love them too on the call. I think they're amazing. The banner back and forth, the jokes, King's jokes, hilarious. They're kind of cheesy at times, but I really think they're funny. Now, the first match we're going to start off with is to crown the first ever WWF Light Heavyweight Champion. It was an 8-man tournament, and this is the final match. And in this match, we get Brian Christopher and Taka Michinoku. JR instantly starts making left-handed comments about Brian Christopher being Jerry the King Lawler's son, which I thought was really great stuff. The crowd also starts chanting Jerry's kid. Jerry the King Lawler comes back talking about the Jerry Lewis telethon, saying that's not until January. I thought it was really, really funny, really, really cool. There was lots of fast-paced, high-flying action. Taka was way ahead of his time. Taka Michinoku was. He would have been a big star today, I think. A really big star. At one point, Brian Christopher is down on the outside of the ring. Jerry the King leaves the announce desk to come over and check on his son. I thought that was kind of cool. There's some jokes made from JR. Just really good. He rolls Christopher back in the ring. Christopher's mouth has been busted open. He come flying off the top, hit his mouth on the guardrail. That's how he got out there. And so he had bit his lip. His mouth is busting all over. It's a mess. Christopher goes up for his move, which is the Tennessee Jam leg drop from the top rope, and he misses it. Taka hits the Michinoku driver for the win. And out comes Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, and Tony Gurria. And they present Taka Michinoku with the title. I thought it was really cool seeing Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe out there. And I did some research on Tony Gurria. Interesting guy. If you don't know, if you haven't done any research on him, kind of check it out. It's pretty interesting. There's a 6-man tag team match next. We get Los Boricuas versus DOA. And Savio Vega will be on the outside for Los Boricuas. Sorry about that. That's Jose Estrada Jr., Jesus Calisto, and Perez versus Chains, which is Brian Lee, Skull and 8-Ball, which are the Harris twins. Perez comes off the top rope at one point and lands wrong. It looks like he hurt his leg, like he might have broke his shin, something like that. But then, no, wait, out of nowhere, as Chains is going for a cover, he slides in the ring. The ref's distracted by Savio. He does this flipping leg drop, hits Chains with the flipping leg drop, then rolls Jose Estrada Jr. on top for the 3 count, or on top of Chains for the classic Rudo's heel luchador finish. I loved it. I thought it was cool to see like that classic, the Eddie Guerrero line sheet steel type finish. Now, Perez does definitely need to shave his back. He's a hairy man, a really hairy man. Probably the most hairiest man I've ever seen in wrestling. It was disgusting. I don't know how them guys wrestling, but that's beside the point. They come out victorious. I thought it was a great little giveaway match. I thought it was really cool. Next, we get a backstage interview with Doc Hendricks, a.k.a. Michael P.S. Hayes, dude, as Bruce Pritchard and them would like to say. He's interviewing Butterbean, and Butterbean's fighting on pay-per-view for the second night in a row. The night before this, he fought at the Oscar De La Hoya fight on the undercard, which is kind of cool. Sable was even there with him. And he's pumping up his match tonight as he's going to go against Mark Merrow. Next, we get Michael Cole, and he's backstage interviewing with Sable, and he's trying to figure out whose corner she's going to be in, either Butterbean's or Mark Merrow's. Mark Merrow shows up, and she decides, like, look, she's going to be in Mark Merrow's corner. And it's going to be 4 2-minute rounds, tough man fight, Butterbean versus Mark Merrow. We get round 1. Butterbean hits Merrow with a cheap shot, kind of like Merrow's through the ropes, and he hits him, and when he hits him, he knocks Merrow all the way to the floor. And but it's right as he hits the floor, the bell rings, so Merrow's saved by the bell in that round. And then there's some shenanigans in between rounds to start the second round. Merrow is creating a lot. Merrow runs and drop kicks Butterbean after the bell. It's like a great worked boxing match. I think it was really fun. I love it. I enjoyed it. I think Mark Merrow should have been a big star. Butterbean's really mad. He knocks Merrow out, but it's at the bell again. So Butterbean throws ice water out of the corner on Merrow to wake him up. So we get round 4. And then Merrow is knocked down early, but Merrow low blows Butterbean to get a DQ, to get DQ'd. Then he breaks the corner chair, throws it, breaks it over Butterbean, and then over Butterbean's back. Butterbean, of course, wins and then chases Merrow to the back. I thought it was pretty good. Liked it. Thought it was pretty cool. We get a crazy artist formerly known as Goldust. And it was like, what the is he wearing? It was crazy. They were out there in like pink Cat in a Hat Dr. Seuss outfits, and he started reading Green Eggs and Ham. It was like some kind of dark cosplay thing. I don't know. It was kind of crazy. It was Vince Russo, I'm sure. I hated it. I didn't like it at all. And then we get something really good. We get a Road Warriors interview, and they're in the back. And Hulk and Animal are great. It's really great. He's saying the New Age Outlaws were like his boogers, him and Animal's boogers, and they're gonna roll them up and then flick them. I thought it was pretty cool. And then instead of doing "Oh what a rush," it was "Oh what a booger," and I thought that was pretty cool. Maybe we can get some "Oh what a booger" shirts here at ILW. I've been pressing for that. So after the "Oh what a booger" comment, which I thought was hilarious, I laughed my ass off, we get the tag team title match. We get LOD versus the New Age Outlaws, the champs. Now the Outlaws just won the belts from LOD on Raw, and it starts out, the LOD comes out, then the Outlaws come out and they're talking trash. LOD chases them up the ramp. They don't want to get in the ring. Then when they finally do, it starts out with a lot of brawling. They're on the outside. The Outlaws grab a cooler that the announcers use, hit Hulk from behind with it, kind of lay him out. They're getting back in the ring, a lot of double teaming. And at one point, the Road Warriors get back in control. And at this point, Henry Godwin comes down and he's got the slop bucket. And he tries to use it on Hulk and Animal. He gets Animal with it, hits Animal with it. As soon as he gets Animal with it, though, Hulk attacks, gets the slop bucket from him, and goes to work on everybody with it. The referee sees, and the Road Warriors are disqualified. Now, I didn't really enjoy this match. I thought I would enjoy it a lot more. I just felt like they never gave the Road Warriors a chance, and the crowd was really still behind them. At this point in time, I know they were trying to go a totally different way, but I just really think they missed the boat on using the Road Warriors at this point. Next, we get a Sergeant Slaughter video package, which is kind of cool. It's hyping up all of Slaughter's history. And then we get an interview backstage with Michael Cole and Triple H. And he's going in talking trash about Slaughter's wife. It's really vulgar. It doesn't age well. Back then, as a kid, even, I guess I must not have known a lot of it, like what it meant. I was in my teenagers, but just a little vulgar and low brow. I didn't really care for it. Then we get a Jim Cornette interview with Sergeant Slaughter. I really like this. It was old school. I thought it was great. And we get next up the boot camp match, which is Sarge's specialty. Sarge at the time was 49 years young. He came out to the ring with Kurt Angle's music, which was kind of cool. I thought that was different. He's bringing his riding crop and immediately starts beating Hunter with it. I thought that was pretty cool. Slaughter has control, rolling all over the place on the floor, doing all kinds of stuff. He moves really good for a 49-year-old at the time. I thought he was moving really well. He was a little probably heavier than he'd like to be, but he moved really well. Really great shape. In the opening minutes, Slaughter ends up getting out his belt, using his belt on Triple H, whipping him with the belt, choking him. Triple H gets the belt away from Slaughter and goes to work, taking advantage of Slaughter with it. It's great street fight action, great brawling. Sarge reverses a sleeper into the Cobra Clutch, and then Chyna knocks out the ref, tries to hit Sarge with a chair. Sarge ends up throwing powder in Chyna's eyes. It was pretty cool. And then puts the Cobra Clutch back on Triple H. And at this point, Chyna low blows Sergeant Slaughter. Triple H hits a pedigree on a steel folding chair to win. It's a good gimmick match. And it was very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great for what it was. Sarge being 49 years old, getting to come out there and get a payday. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed the match. Next, we get an interview backstage again with Michael Cole and a returning to the company, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And it's about his upcoming match with The Undertaker. He says if you want to be the best, you got to start at the top and beat him right off the rip. And Double J is going to do that. So next we get Double J versus Taker. Double J works the leg of Taker to start out. And this is the Taker from like the Ministry of Darkness era. He was working the leg though, trying to do the figure four. And then when Taker finally gets up to his feet and takes back control, out of nowhere the lights go out. Kane's music hits. Kane comes down to the ring with Paul Bearer. This is right when Kane showed up. This is before he had a match with Taker or any of that yet. So Taker was doing this thing where he would never put his hands on his brother. I wouldn't hit my brother. So Kane comes down to the ring, gets in the ring, and out of nowhere he grabs Jarrett and choke slams Jarrett, which ends up getting Taker disqualified. At this point, Taker and Paul Bearer are staring each other down. Kane slaps Undertaker, but Taker won't hit his brother. Then Kane goes to leave, and Double J attacks Taker from behind, trying to get his leg. Taker don't play that. He grabs him, and he choke slams Double J for the second time. I thought this was really good. And then as Double J's getting up, he makes the ref announce him as the winner via DQ. It makes the ref even hold his hand up for twice for being the winner. I thought it was pretty cool. Great heel move. Interesting match. I liked it. It built the Kane storyline. That's one of my favorite WWF storylines is the Kane and Undertaker. So I thought that was really great. Next, we get Michael Cole interviewing Mark Henry in the crowd. Mark Henry's injured. And he picks Stone Cold Steve Austin versus over the Rock in the IC title match coming up, which I thought was interesting because Rock's part of the Nation. Mark Henry becomes part of the Nation. This was before that, but it was kind of interesting. And it's kind of interesting that we get a young Austin and a young Rock in an IC title match here at this pay-per-view. We get a video package on Rock stealing Austin's Intercontinental title. He stole the belt, so the belt's in possession of Rock and the Nation, but Austin's the champion. So to start off the match, Rock comes out with the Nation. Then Austin drives his truck down to the ring, goes in the ring, fighting off all the Nation members. Austin's getting jumped by the Nation. And he fights off Farouk, Kama, Mustafa, and The Rock. And then D'Lo comes running towards him. He back body drops D'Lo over the top ropes to the hood of the truck, which was a hard bump, broke the windshield. It was kind of great. And then Austin jumps out on the hood of the truck, and on the roof of the truck delivers a stunner to D'Lo. Just great. And at this point, the bell rings, and The Rock and Austin go at it. They go start battling, back and forth, back and forth. There's a lot of interference from the Nation, but Kama Mustafa accidentally takes out Farouk with a chair. Then Austin takes out Kama. The deck has been stacked against Austin here. The Rock has the upper hand at this point. He catches Austin while he's beating up the other two. The crowd is going nuts for this match. It's probably by far the loudest crowd I've heard since Hulk Hogan and WWF anywhere. It was pretty amazing. Austin mistakenly stuns the referee and then stuns The Rock immediately after that. And by this time, another referee hits the ring, makes the 3 count, and Austin ends up celebrating out on the top of the pickup truck. It was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. We get a video package to hype up Ken Shamrock and the WWF title match between him and Shawn Michaels coming up. It was great. We get Jim Cornette, who I love, interviewing Shamrock, and just from listening to Cornette, you know he thinks Shamrock's the real deal, which he is. So he has to enjoy this. Shamrock says he'll make Michaels tap out without any problem. He has nothing to worry about. Next, we get DX, and they're in the back. And DX doesn't have anybody with him, but they're doing a backstage interview, and this is where them and JR go back and forth. And he says some really rude and disrespectful things to JR and kind of mocks him, and that's what they do. I also thought this was interesting because for the main event, Shamrock leaves the interview spot and walks through the back, through the gorilla position, and out to the ring. I thought that was a unique camera angle. It's just stuff they didn't do back then. But they kind of wanted to make it feel like a UFC fight or a boxing fight, I think. And then Shawn Michaels and Triple H does the same thing and comes through Gorilla, and you can see all that. And I just thought it was interesting. Triple H and Chyna come down to the ring with Michaels. They're wearing really cool D-Generation X gear. Michaels is. All of them are. This being in your house, D-Generation X. Shamrock starts off throwing Shawn Michaels all over the ring. Shawn Michaels bumping everywhere for him. Making Shamrock really look like $1 million. Michaels had a way of doing that back then, so I really enjoyed it. This was right after the Montreal Screwjob, the very next pay-per-view. So there was a lot of inferences to DX running out the Hart Foundation and running them off, and they had just put the anvil out, and Bulldog was on the shelf, and they ran Brett down south. So that was pretty cool. Then we get a bunch of interference from Chyna and Triple H. Michaels delivers a nice flying crossbody from the top to the floor. From the top rope to the floor. It was really interesting. Then we get more DX interference. Michaels is in firm control from all this. Really doing a number on Shamrock. Michaels hits the elbow drop from the top rope. Goes for sweet chin music, but misses. Shamrock grabs him, spins him around belly to belly. Then hooks the ankle lock in immediately. And Shawn looks like he's about to tap out. DX jumps in the ring. Chyna, Triple H, they jump on Shamrock. It's a Smosh finish at this point. Shawn Michaels wins by DQ. and they instantly are jumping Shamrock. Out of nowhere, Owen Hart runs in a hoodie. JR says something like Owen Hart's out for mental health issues because of what happened with his brothers and Bulldog and Anvil. He kind of punches Sean, knocks Sean off the apron through the announce table. Sean's nose is all busted up. He jumps on Sean, saves Shamrock, beats down Sean while Triple H and China are still on Shamrock. By the time they come to save Sean, Owen jumps over the rail and hits the crowd. And I just think that after the screw job happened, they missed a huge opportunity to make Owen Hart probably one of the biggest wrestlers ever. I think Owen could have been just as big a star, if not more so, than Bret. I think he had more charisma. So I think he would have been the biggest heart, the best heart, the king of hearts, shall we say, as he would like to say, the king of hearts. I miss Owen. His work was really good. I thought they just, after Bret went to WCW, I just thought they missed the ball, especially with the Shawn Michaels Owen feud. And as they did here, they set it up. They just didn't execute it properly. At this point, the pay-per-view goes off the air, and we got Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and China in the ring posing, getting their, DX must pose in. All in all, I thought this was a great pay-per-view for what it was. Watching back some of the Attitude Era stuff is a little rough. It goes a little rough. It's just a little hard because of some of the vulgar stuff, or the stuff is just not appropriate. But a lot of great wrestling action. I enjoyed it. As always, I enjoy being here with you on this day in wrestling history, December 7th. Thank you. As always, all praise to God, and you have a blessed day.